So things that can go wrong during an ultra, a lot.
I'm so excited, Blake.
This is gonna be fun. We're gonna talk a little ultra trail running today. So come on in, you can see some of the equipment and maybe we'll get out on the trail later.
Okay, I want to know what started all of this. What started running for you like over a year ago?
Really two things. The first was late summer of 2023. I had already run a few half marathons, so I decided why not try for a full. And that's really when I started like training for running. This is the old training ground. So we're gonna go, it's my favorite run up is right to the top of the ridge there. And yeah, let's see how long it takes us. Came across this book by Cameron Haynes, who's like a bow hunter and an ultramarathon runner, and he talked about this race called Western States 100, which is a 100-mile run out on the trail. After reading that, I always knew that I wanted to go try a trail ultramarathon. So an ultramarathon is anything over 26.2 miles, the traditional marathon. And then trail meaning not on like road or pavement. So most traditional marathons are on city streets and city blocks, but trail marathon is out in nature on like hiking or biking trails. The standard typical distance for an ultramarathon is 50 kilometers, which equates to about 32 miles.
How do you train for 100 miles?
Much like you would train for any amount of miles, you just have to get more distance and volume in over time. So you can go this ridge line all the way to the back, come all the way around to that knob, and then come down. And that's like that 11-mile trail run.
What's Blake got you out here doing, Bray?
Running hills.
How is it?
It's rough. I can see why you come here to train. Probably the number one thing that people struggle with is like their stomach or gastrointestinal issues.
You carry like one of these disposable cups around. These are nice because at the aid station they have like all these like sodas and juices, so it's like free carbs. So I just take this out and they fill it out. So it's important to have these.
Essentially, it's an eating contest because you have to keep fueled for the entirety of the race. And in my case, this is like 28 hours of being awake and moving and being physical. So this is called Tailwind. It's like a carb powder. So in my flask, I would always do one with water and one with like a carb mix just to get like more calories in and then obviously fuel with carbohydrates. As part of training, you got to really train that as well. So you got to be comfortable eating and putting calories in while you're running. So, there you go. So it's just kind of bright all the way around instead of like the one light. I was reading about how to train and things like that, and I really wanted to run like a 50-mile overnight because one of the things in the 100-mile distance is you got to go through the middle of the night in the darkness. So I had this quasi training camp in Tahoe. Went out 11 p.m., figured I'd get done around 9, 10 a.m. But it was dark and that was the first time I've ever ran in the dark. And you know, the trail has rocks and roots and twists and turns. In order to save some of my headlamp battery, I decided not to do full brightness, which was, looking back, a mistake because what it did was it really limited my sight. And so about 7 miles in, I took a good spill. That was kind of my first mistake, was the amount of light that I was running under. I also weirdly just never got my stomach right. So I ate this big Italian dinner because in my mind I was running 50 miles and I needed all these carbs. So my stomach was never really settled, and that stayed throughout the entire training run. In the middle of the night, took a few more spills, ended up twisting my ankle pretty bad coming down toward Tahoe City. The last kind of 10 miles, this would be mile 30 to 40, were just pretty miserable as I was limping. My stomach had been a disaster. My back was kind of jarred. Made a lot of mistakes on the training run and only ended up doing 40 miles and called to basically what we called DNFing myself, which is did not finish. And this was probably 2 months before the 100-mile race. I made a decision as I was making the phone call to get picked up from the 40-mile that I was going to be extremely positive about it. And I think one thing about ultra, what it teaches you is the mental game is much more important than the physical one in a lot of regards. I think it would have been easy to tell myself that I'm not ready to run 100 miles if I can't run 50, but I made a mental decision in the parking lot of Safeway in Tahoe City to really take a positive spin on it and take all the good things that I've learned and the mistakes and turn that into really valuable things that I would use in my upcoming race. The nutrition aspect, the light, being more careful with my footing, all of those things. And so mentally, I just made the decision, and it actually was super helpful that I made those mistakes on a training run rather than the real race. The line fire started in Southern California probably 2 months prior to the race date. So traditionally the Kodiak 100 is a loop course around Big Bear Lake, and it's 100 miles in distance. This year with the line fire, it was essentially up in the air.
Squirrels and nut butter. That is important to go in places where the sun don't shine. So there's me doing my first ultra right there. I call this the candy bag. But all this is Tylenol and salt tablets.